Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you're keeping fine and safe in this pandemic situation. So let's start this video today. This video is all about Nbhn, the scholarship which is available for PhD students, the ones who are likely to be interested for PhD. Now, Nbhn for PhD. The National Board for Higher Mathematics, which is Nbhn, was set up by the Government of India under the Department of Atomic Energy (DAE) in the year 1983 to foster the development of higher mathematics in the country, to formulate policies for the development of mathematics, help in the establishment and development of mathematical centers, and give financial assistance to research projects and to doctoral and postdoctoral scholars. Nbhm functions essentially autonomously, framing its own budget, taking into account the funds made available by DAE. Nbhm Financial Support. Nbhm provides financial support to the Mathematics Olympiad activity run in the collaboration with the Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education for the students at the junior college or high school level. Nbhn provides financial support for holding conferences or seminars or workshops and instructional schools, granting financial support to libraries of mathematics departments of universities and research institutions in the country is one of the major activities of Nbhn. Nbhn grants and scholarships. Talking about this, Nbhn gives out grants and scholarships for deserving candidates at undergraduate, graduate, and PhD or research level in the field of higher level mathematics. Candidates who wish to pursue their PhD can apply for the Nbhn exam. Upon successful selection, candidates will receive a scholarship or stipend for the 5 years of their research period. Nbhn grants various funds and allowances for a PhD fellow, such as library grant, conference grant, project, and travel grant, among others. Candidates can go to the official website of Nbhn and apply it to the exam if they fulfill the Nbhn eligibility criteria. Nbhn PhD eligibility criteria is applicants for the Nbhn PhD scholarship must be mathematically motivated and hold a master's degree in pure or applied mathematics or statistics, or must be a final year student of these degree courses. They must have a good academic record, first class or equivalent grade in all the years from plus 2 level to the present educational qualification that is there. Students who are having passed a BSc honors course with a second class may also apply, provided they have a master's degree or are in the final year of the same. Students holding a 4-year BSc or equivalent degree, or those in the final year of such a program, may also apply, but they are eligible to receive the Nbhn scholarship only if they secure admission to a recognized PhD program by the next year August. Students who wish to apply for the PhD or integrated PhD program of HRI, IISER Pune, IMSc or NISER must apply and appear for the written examination. For this purpose, apart from the students that I mentioned earlier, students holding a BSc or BStat or BS or BTech or BE degree or those in the final year of such a degree course with a consistently good academic record from the +2 level, as I mentioned earlier, may also apply. Students for this doctoral program need not apply separately to these institutions again. The eligibility is restricted to students who have completed their BSc or MA or MSc or equivalent degree and have secured admission to a recognized PhD program on or before the specified date. Now, coming to the age limit, there is no upper age limit for Nbhn, while there is a consideration of educational qualification only. Now, how to apply for Nbhn, the PhD, the next year, or this year in fact. Firstly, step 1, registration. The candidates are required to register on the portal and create their profiles using a valid email address. Second, application. Log in to the portal with your registered email address and password, which was created in the first step, step 1. Fill out some details about yourself and also the choice of the zone after confirming for the correctness of the entries you have made. You will be led through the fees payment process after this. Once the fees is paid, an application number will be generated. You will be able to download a receipt cum payment pre-admission ticket. The receipt cum pre-admission ticket will also be sent to the registered email which you had provided while giving all your information. Now coming to the step 3, admit card. Make 2 photocopies of the receipt cum pre-admission ticket that you have received. Produce 2 original copies of the admission ticket as I am going to discuss. Paste a recent color photograph of yourself in each photocopy and complete the postal address for correspondence and enter your roll number and signature. Now, how to find your roll number? To find your roll number, you have to wait until the center-wise list of the candidates are published. This will be published by Nbhn directly. You can find your roll number by looking up the entry for your name. Carry both original copies of your admission ticket to the test center where you are appearing for the examination. Nbhn PhD for 2020-21. The exam pattern. Nbhn candidates have to appear for a written examination. The Nbhn test will have questions based on topics normally covered in the master's degree programs in mathematics. The Nbhn test will be of 150 minutes duration. There will be short answer questions in Nbhn test or examination. Based on the performance in the Nbhn written test, candidates will be shortlisted for an interview before the final selection. There will be no negative marking, so that is a plus point for you all. Now, Nbhn PhD syllabus. Since this is a PhD course, the syllabus is not well structured and predefined. Instead, it covers topics from UG and PG levels of mathematics. The question paper is divided into three sections. Syllabus, talking about the syllabus of this. Firstly, section A. You will have section A, the algebra. Nbhn algebra syllabus covers multiple subtopics as I will mention. Abstract algebra, set theory, binary operations, matrix theory, groups algebra, rings and fields, polynomials that comprises calculus, matrix polynomials, roots. Now coming to section B, analysis. Now syllabus for this section B, syllabus of this will be analysis. Syllabus covers mainly majority three sections such as complex, functional, real. Now candidates are suggested to cover these topics thoroughly as they are huge or vast. I will now mention the syllabus in the Nbhm analysis syllabus in details. Complex analysis. Here you will have polar coordinates, poles and residues. Real analysis syllabus will have sequence and limits, metric spaces, series, infinite series, expansion, Taylor series expansion. Coming to the functional analysis syllabus, here you will have continuous function, maxima and minima, differential function, defining function. Now coming to section C, geometry syllabus. Nbhn geometry syllabus contains mainly two subtopics. Now you can check the details that I am going to give here. Plain algebraic syllabus that will be there. Here you will have line, circle, ellipses, elliptical curve, cubic curves, spheres, that is 3D shapes. Now talking about the algebraic geometry syllabus, here you will have polar coordinates, Cartesian coordinates and all this. Now Nbhn PhD counseling. One very important factor to note here is the fact that the Nbhn has very limited seats. Hence, the competition is very tough. Post results, candidates will receive a call for admission and further process such as document verification and so on. As an Nbhn candidate, you must be prepared with all your necessary documents. Institutions which comprises IISER Pune, IISER Mohali, NISAR, IMST and others that will consider Nbhn scores for admission will publish their own admission notification. Nbhn will not post any admission notification. The candidates are advised to apply to these institutes separately. Every college will have its own counseling processes. The counseling process will require the candidates to produce the academic record along with their identification and personal details. Now talking about the information on PhD. That is the PhD scholarships. Fine. Students possessing master's degree in mathematics or physics or statistics and are wishing to take up research work in any branch of mathematics, including mathematical statistics and mathematical physics, leading to a PhD degree, are eligible to apply for the PhD scholarships awarded by Nbhn. The selection of the scholars is based on academic records and the result of a selection test or interview by a selection committee constituted by Nbhn. Applications are invited through advertisements in leading national newspapers, normally during the month of November each and every year. The scholarship is expected to do research work under an approved guide in an institution or university of his or her choice. Prior to joining an institution for doing research, the scholar is given a choice of joining some select institutions to take courses in mathematics, which will be helpful in a proper understanding of mathematics and consequently resulting in good research. The present rules and regulations governing the grant of PhD scholarships are described as I am going to give right now. The scholarship is granted initially for 1 year and can be renewed for a period of up to 5 years, subject to satisfactory progress of the scholar. At present, the scholarship amount is rupees 25,000. Now, 25,000 per month for the first 2 years and rupees 28,000 per month for the next 3 years of the PhD course after a review of the work at the end of the 2 years. The PhD scholarship also carries a contingency grant of rupees 32,000 per year. If the institution does not provide a hostel or subsidized accommodation, the PhD scholar is eligible for house rent allowance, which is the HRA, as per the government norms, rules and regulations on the basis of a certificate from the institution and a receipt about the actual rent being paid by the scholar. Now coming to the rules and regulations governing the Nbhn PhD scholarships. The scholarship is tenable during coursework at the specified institutions and during the period when the scholar works for his or her PhD degree at any Indian university or research institution other than DAE aided institutes, where the necessary facilities exist for undertaking research work in an approved subject chosen by the research scholar. The scholarship is tenable for 1 year once the scholar starts on his or her work for the PhD degree. It is extendable up to a total period of 5 years, not including the special training period of 1 year if availed. For pursuing the PhD degree in a university or research institution not with the DAE that I mentioned. The extension for subsequent years beyond the first year is subject to satisfactory progress to be assessed each and every year by the university department or institution concerned. Extension for a 5th year after the start of the PhD program is given on the basis of a review of the scholar's work by Nbhn itself. The research scholar is entitled to leave facilities as per the rules of the institution to which he or she is attached. However, long leave without stipend will not be allowed. If the scholar is not provided hostel or subsidized accommodation by the institution, house rent allowance, which is the HRA, will be paid As per the government, the contingency grant can be utilized for the following that I am going to discuss. Purchase of stationery and books, books purchased by the scholar from the contingency grant are allowed to be retained by him or her and without any confusion. Library work, travel inside the country for attending conference or lectures, etc. Towards payment for computer time, any other purposes specifically authorized by this department for the successful completion of the PhD program. The unutilized part of the contingency grant is allowed to be carried forward to the next year. Take a note of this. No reimbursement can be claimed from the contingency grant for purchasing furniture and office equipment for such purposes. Obligations of host university or research institution where you are doing your PhD. The host university or research institution should furnish the following information that I'm going to discuss. A certificate that the research scholar has joined the institution for undertaking research work in an approved subject chosen by him or her, along with a copy of his or her joining report indicating the actual date of the joining, the exact date of joining. Secondly, a certificate that all the necessary facilities for undertaking research work in an approved subject as chosen by the research scholar will be provided by the institution. If the university or the institution has not provided subsidized or hostel accommodation, and if the research scholar has made his or her own arrangement for his or her accommodation, then a certificate to that effect has to be given. The institution will receive the scholarship amount from the Department of Atomic Energy, that is the DAE, and make monthly payment to the scholar in the prescribed manner that I mentioned. The institution should undertake to keep subsidiary accounts and furnish a utilization certificate and statement of accounts along with refund for the amount received by them from time to time. The refund should be by check or demand draft drawn in favor of Pay and Accounts Officer DAE. An annual report of the work done along with the utilization certificate and statement of accounts duly signed by the guide and head of the institution with a suitable recommendation of the further grant, if any, will be submitted to the DAE through the member secretary. Nbhn, first floor, Anushakti Bhavan, CSM Mark, Mumbai 400001. In case the research scholar is called upon to assist the institution in its teaching program, the workload should not exceed 4 hours of teaching per week at the postgraduate level or 6 hours of teaching per week at the undergraduate level. Obligations of research scholars. The research scholar must be a full-time researcher and submit himself or herself to the disciplinary regulations of the university or the institution where he or she works. He must be regular in attending to the departmental duties assigned to him or her. The department must ensure regular attendance of the scholar by keeping an attendance register. In case a scholar decides to appear for a competitive examination, then he or she should invariably seek permission from the guide and inform DAE about it. The research scholar is not to take any assignment other than related to his or her approved research program, paid or unpaid in any case. He or she taking up any paid assignment at any time in the course of the scholarship may lead to the scholar being asked to pay back the entire fellowship amount in addition to disciplinary action. Any kind of paid or honorary part or full-time employment or private practice, even in honorary capacity, is not permissible during the entire tenure of the PhD scholarship. The research scholar shall submit to DAE an annual report on the progress of his or her work through his or her guide. The annual progress report, complete in all respects, must be sent to the member secretary within 15 days of the completion of each year. Years are to be counted from the date of joining. Once a person accepts a research scholarship, he or she is expected to continue the research from the normal tenure of the fellowship or for such lesser duration in which the original objectives of the research problem have been achieved. No scholar shall discontinue his or her PhD scholarship without any prior approval to DAE. In case he or she wishes to discontinue the scholarship prior to the completion of the tenure, then he or she must submit the resignation to DAE through the guide 1 month in advance, indicating specific and proper reasons for not continuing the scholarship. The scholarship shall cease from the date stipulated in the DAE letter approving the resignation. Abrupt discontinuance of the fellowship without concurrence of DAE may lead to disciplinary action. The research scholar must send a detailed consolidated report of the research work done during the entire period of the fellowship of the PhD on completion of the tenure or resignation of the scholarship through the guide to DAE. During the tenure of the scholarship, the scholar shall correspond with DAE or Nbhn only through the guide or head of the institution. The research scholar shall keep DAE informed about his or her getting any higher degree or acceptance or publication of any research paper arising out of the research work done during the tenure of the fellowship. He or she must acknowledge the support of DAE, Government of India, in the publications. One copy of each research paper published must be sent to DAE at each stage of publication, manuscript or reprint. The research scholar are expected to acknowledge the support received from the Department of Atomic Energy, which is DAE, in all their publications and in their PhD theses. In case the scholar is required to undergo pre-PhD training like MPhil before registering for PhD degree, the scholarship may become operative from the date of enrollment for the pre-PhD program that he or she is undertaking. However, the scholarship for the second year will be given only if the scholar has got Nbhn, Nbhn scholarship. Now talking of the Nbhn zones, the Nbhn exam is conducted in 5 zones across the nation. Each zone has 4 to 5 exam centers. Candidates who belong to a particular zone get to appear in the centers for examination and interview round of that zone itself. These zones are divided geographically: north, south, east and west. These are the centers. The list that I am going to give in is the zone-wise segregation of exam centers. Talking about the zone 1, Chandigarh, New Delhi, Srinagar, this is the north zone. The second zone, which is the zone 2, comprises Indore, Jabalpur, Prayagraj, Raipur, which is the central zone. Third zone, Goa, Mumbai, Pune, Vallabh Vidyanagar, which is the west zone. Zone 4, Bhubaneswar, Guwahati, Kolkata, Ranchi, Shillong, which is the east zone. Zone 5, Bangalore, Chennai, Cochin, Hyderabad, which is the south zone. So I have given you all the information related to Nbhn PhD. I hope you have liked the video. There is enough information provided. So all the best for your career and hope you have liked the video. Thank you.